Yo, what's good, my fellow anime heads? Today's video, I want to talk about the fact that I decided to take on the challenge to finish or catch up to One Piece. I know, I know. I said I wasn't gonna never do this, but I gave in to everybody telling me I should check it out because it's one of the greatest animes of all time. And I'm going to be reviewing the East Blue Saga. And we're going to start this off with discussing the characters in the East Blue. And of course, we have to start off with no other than Monkey D. Luffy. For me, when I first got introduced to Monkey D. Luffy, he seems he seemed brainless, simple-minded, I should say, and only he was only driven by his desire to become the Monkey King and his freaking hunger. Like this dude loves to eat. That's all he says. Meat, meat, meat. He loves to eat. Balls. And he just seemed like a one track mind type of guy. Like I am gonna become the Pirate King. And in a way that resolves helps him throughout all his challenges that he does face in the East Blue. So Luffy, his character mode uh, comes around as every character in Shonen Jump where they just motivated to want to be great at the end of the day. Uh, he ate the freaking what was it, the gum gum fruit, because he was at a bar with the guy Shunks, I believe that was his name, that gave him his hat. They just had the fruit sitting there out in the open, and he ate it, and now his body is all gummy and stretchable, which is so useful for him. He's able to absorb bullets. He's able to reflect and send projectiles back to people. I think like his only one of his weaknesses is like nets and swords and things like that. So his fruit is pretty good, pretty powerful for him. And the next character I want to talk about is none other than Zoro. The first thing when I saw Zoro in the East Blue, he was sitting out in the sun being tortured by the heat, and they said that he was out there for months. And my first initial thought was like, wow, how is he able to endure this kind of torture for months on end? You know what I'm saying? To me, I was looking like this guy can't be human because he doesn't have a devil fruit. So how is he able to withstand this type of torture? And when I saw him first use his three sword style, I was like, how is that gonna be an effective move or effective fighting style if he has the sword hanging in his mouth until he actually used it? And I'm like, wow, he's actually better with three swords than he is with two swords. And he is also driven by the desire to become the best swordsman in the world because of his backstory with his I'm gonna call her his teacher, because he always wanted to surpass her and be better than her, but she ended up passing before he can do that. So since she couldn't be the best swordsman, he decided that he was going to take it upon himself to become the best swordsman for her, if that makes sense. Uh, I like Zoro as a character. I feel like he's just driven by wanting to be strong, and he instantly was gravitated to Luffy, and he automatically was ready to have his back uh, during the depths of the sea voyage. And now we have the elusive Nami. Bruh, when we first got introduced with Nami, I didn't like her because I felt like she was just always solely out for herself. She she has great navigational skills, but she is solely motivated by capturing these berries for the reasons of freeing um, freeing her village of the tyrant that is the shark people, which we will get. I'll talk about Erlong later on in this video. But when I first got introduced to her, I didn't like her because she would play as though she was on Luffy's side, but all around she was in it for herself, in it to gain berries, to gain money, because that's was her real goal. But she is pretty cunning. She's smart. She's very wily at the same time, and she's elusive to be a girl. She manages to get through uh, blunders of crews and able to escape with the money without being captured by herself. She's taken on entire cruise ships and was able to capture their money without being caught, and that's an amazing feat all by itself. Next character we have is Yusuf. See, Yusuf, when he first came um on the scene, he started off with this big lie like the pirates are coming, the pirates are coming. And my freaking thought with him is, bruh, what if pirates actually show up? No one is gonna believe you because every day you literally run around and lie and say pirates are coming because you're bored. Like this literally was his mantra. But he's a great mind, he's a great mechanic, he's a great inventor as well, and he's an amazing sniper. Or amazing shooter. So this whole time he's using his freaking slingshots. And I'm thinking like, are these slingshots gonna be effective? He basically uses them as sometimes as a diversions. He has a lot of different gadgets in his arsenal as well. But what I want from him is to be able to use guns. Like I want him to be able to actually snipe people. That will be awesome because his ability to aim is freaking phenomenal. And the fact that he's just holding a slingshot, I'm like, you could be so much more powerful if you would just switch your weapons. Okay? And the next character I want to talk about is my boy Sanji, the fighting cook. See, Sanji, he is the greatest simp of all time. Every woman that he see, he loves them off the jump. If they're beautiful, he's in love. And to me, that's his only weakness. And maybe if you take his cigarettes away, that'll be another weakness. Cause, bro, where did he be getting all these cigarettes? Like, I think he was smoking underwater at one point. And how is that possible? He has freaking amazing leg strength. Like, he does leg day every day. Every day for him is leg day. And he's a phenomenal cook. He is driven by the fact that he wants to venture out and make it to the all blue because all the cooks around him was telling him that the all blue doesn't exist. But he's like, I believe it exists, so I'm going to take this venture and venture out of the East Blue so I can find the all blue and serve up this amazing meal. And that sounds like a good way to leave your home, or a good reason to leave your home behind because you have a dream that you want to succeed. And I would like to try some of Sanji's food because honestly, it does look banging. It does look banging. Let's see. Overall, this arc was pretty good. It was grueling at first to try to keep going because it was so much episodes. I took a couple breaks, but I like that. I like the fact that they introduced all the main crew in this arc, so you got to see how it all started with those four coming together and like usurp his arc being the arc where or his introductory being the plight to how they got their first cruise ship and things like that. Okay, now we're gonna talk about the East Blue villains. Okay, the first villain that I want to talk about is Buggy the Clown. Buggy the Clown, his art design was pretty awesome if you think about pirate outfits. I liked his look. His fruit caught me off guard. I'm like, chop chop fruit. What is that gonna do? And he can dissemble himself from basically any parts in the world and either shoot it out, shoot out his hands, or shoot off his head, anything like that. And his fruit, I would say, is a good power to have because you can use that in an array of different ways. Like he would use his hands to sneak around and attack somebody without them knowing, and that's pretty cool. I liked his design as well. I thought he was weak at first, but he actually can hold his own to some degree. I don't know about any other villains outside of the East Blue yet. Okay, his fruit is called the Barbarmino fruit, aka the Chop Chop fruit. Would I take the Chop Chop fruit? I don't think so, but I probably would take the Gum Gum fruit. Let's see what other villains do we have. We have Captain Kuro. Now this villain was a cool villain. I like the fact that he came up with this lavish plan to not be a pirate anymore. So he disguised himself as a butler and came up with this 3 or 7 year plan to basically steal the money from the family that he was working for as a butler. I thought that he derailed his own plans when he decided to kill or harm one of the helps on his staff before his group even had a chance to ramshack the village that he was living in, which I think the name of the village was Serp Village. He was so excited about the plan that he jumped the gun, and I'm like, bro, you waited 3 years just to sabotage yourself, and his plan ended up being foiled because he was too excited. Basically, he was ready to be rich, and he couldn't wait 24 hours after you waited 3 or 4 years for this to happen. I didn't understand that part. But you can tell that he's a tactician. He's very patient, and he has a lot of plans up his sleeve. So I wouldn't be surprised if somehow he ends up showing up somewhere back in another arc somewhere. Let's see. Another villain we have is Alvita. Now this chick was crazy. She came in, she was huge. She came in with this big club on her back, basically demanding that all her crew members praise her. She was like, who is the fairest of them all? And if they would say not her, she would knock them out with the club, bruh. All of them was afraid of her. All of her crew members was afraid of her. Um, and then another villain that we have is Erlong. Now this villain is connected with Nami. He was the reason why Nami was trying to get all this money. I think she was trying to amass 100 million berries or something like that because she wanted to buy back her village from them because they ramshacked their village and basically took it over and created Erlong Park where all these freaking literal land sharks was taking over the village. And Erlong was just about basically being superior over the humans. He wanted to basically enslave the human race and have it run by the shark people because he felt like the shark people was the superior being. Well, he got a rude awakening when my dude Luffy was like, gum, 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 bazooka, and knocked him out, bro. That was a pretty great ending to his arc. Um, what else? another freaking villain that I wanted to discuss is what is his name? Helmu Hel Alipo, something like that. He, I wouldn't even count him as a villain because he was so weak and simple-minded. He was very cowardice as well. He would just talk a bunch of trash, and then when the when the when the problems came, when people run up to him and was trying to throw the hands, he'll be like, "I'm gonna tell my dad on you," and his dad didn't even respect him. He was like, "Bro, you weak." You know what I'm saying? Only the strong could stand next to me. That's the kind of mentality that his dad had. And he looked at him as in, you're not worthy to be my son because you're too much of a coward or you're too weak. So I'm interested in to see how they're gonna do his character development, his story arc, because he's still alive and he's still pretty weak. So overall, this arc was pretty intense. It got me hooked onto the development of each of the characters, their backstories, their hardships, and how they all come together and form this bond from this Each Blue saga. Well, that's all I have for now. Let anime heads let me know if you like this video. I'll be doing another video talking about the other sagas of One Piece as well. So like, comment, subscribe, and your boy is out.